Okay, so on to the second last track and performance of the Cool Chameleon Sound series, man. The series has been absolutely fantastic, and we are now drawing to a close. This is almost finished, man. Let's end off strong. This one over here is called 6 a.m. I think I have reacted to 6 a.m. before. I think it was brought, the very first reaction I did was in Sammy's series. Anyway, this one over here is called Maybe It's Time. It's featuring Corey Taylor, Joe Elliott, Brantley, Gilbert, Ivan Moody, and Slash. Wow, that's actually quite a lineup right there. The message over here from Sonia is: Motley Crue and 6 a.m. co-founder Nikki Sixx is a former drug abuser whose memoir of addiction, the HEROIN Diaries, a year in the life of a shattered rock star, reached the top 10 on the New York Times nonfiction bestseller list. The topic of sobriety remains dear to his heart. Sixx conceived of the idea for a single to campaign awareness of the opioid crisis in the USA. Yeah, that was another beautiful fucking boondoggle by the United States government. He decided to record a new version of 6 a.m.'s 2016 track Maybe It's Time, enlisting some of his musician pals for the project. Released August in 2020, the artist's For Recovery version of stacked new rendition features Def Leppard, vocalist Joe Elliott, Slipknot, and Stone Sour frontman Corey Taylor, Guns N' Roses guitarist slash Five Finger Death Punch singer Ivan Moody, Bad Wolves vocalist Tommy Vext, and country artist Brantley, Gilbert, members of AWOLNATION. Wow, that's quite a mouthful, but that's crazy. That's an insane lineup with some properly good artists. Very intrigued to see what this one is about. Obviously, it deals with the whole opioid pandemic, but I'd love to see what they say about that, because that was quite a, you know what that was. Let's go. Artists for Recovery. Snow Babies.
Well, all the scars and all the lines on my face, they show the times I've abandoned my own life. Why? I can't breathe, I can't eat, so I just drink myself to sleep and embrace this morbid prize.
And embrace this morbid prize, the prize for this addiction, right? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, and doing drugs and going into alcoholism thing. It's stupid. And the thing is that you don't realize it when you're actually in it. It's like this cheap thrill, and you think you got it under control, and then it spirals out and it goes and snowballs into this crazy thing that you struggle to get out of. Do you know what I mean? So this kind of song, bringing this kind of awareness specifically to young children, say nobody fucking cares about you. Specifically the people that are going to play into the compassion, right? Oh, but we must understand. It's like, okay, you know, people try, and you know, you got to try everything once. No, stay the fuck away from all of that, right? And stay away from people who do that. Stay away from people who do that, right? The government doesn't fucking care about you at all, right? The whole opioid fucking epidemic, the whole crisis that happened in the fucking United States involved some of the most elite people all the way through to the UK in the fucking royal family, right? We're all making money off the opioid epidemic in America, where people are fucking dying because they just literally flooded the market with fucking cheap fucking drugs and then took it all away and they turned all to fucking heroin. It was absolutely ridiculous, right? Drugs that are supposed to be prescription drugs were being sold over the counter for fucking profit. So, yeah, very important song.
Maybe it's time to heal. Maybe it's time to try. Maybe it's time to deal with all the pieces in my life.
Yes.
Well, maybe I'll sober up. Maybe before I die. Maybe I'll finally deal with all the wreckage in my life.
Beautiful. have amazing voices, and songs like this are very important because you don't know when a song like this is going to hit somebody, right? People don't realize, oh, well, it's just a song, drug addict, he doesn't kill. Well, who cares if someone creates a song? You don't understand. These are people. The people that are in these kind of situations are looking for a way out. They're looking for something that's going to awaken them, right? And it just comes down to like timing, how desperate and how painful and how much burden you're carrying. And you just so happen to come across a song like this that'll touch you in the correct way in that moment. And that will be the flip. That'll be the light switch, right? So having these kind of songs out there is super important, and it's like a sea of people that are suffering with these kind of issues, and it might not help everybody, right? It might not help everybody, but it's kind of like a high tide that brings all the starfish onto the beach and leaves them all on the beach. Thousands of them. You can't save them all. You can't go and take them and spend days trying to throw every single starfish back into the ocean, but you can throw one back into the ocean, and that makes a difference. That makes the difference to that one. Do you know what I mean? So it's always important to create stuff like this because you don't know who is going to be saved by it. I like this.
Soon enough they'll blow away. When I was young, I was dumb, but I was never strong enough. I wish I had the guts to say, maybe it's time to heal, maybe it's time to try, maybe it's time to deal with all the pieces in my life. Maybe I'm sober up.
That's also another thing, like when I was young, I was dumb. That is the thing about being young, right? That's why you don't create policies on the feelings of young people. That is why you don't do that. So there's politicians that are fucking doing that, trying to be compassionate and tolerant. You know what I mean? It's because they're young. Don't create. You know better. You're older. You know better. You know what reality is. You know what good and bad is. You know what fucking right and wrong is. Why are you creating policies on the feelings of people that have not grown up, that don't even have a developed prefrontal cortex? Why are you developing policies on that? It's literally just to destroy them. It's just to destroy them. It's so fucking... Oh, God, it drives me fucking insane. It drives me absolutely insane. Anyway, carry on.
Maybe I'm sober up. Maybe before I die. Maybe I'll finally deal with all the wreckage in my life. And this was self-inflicted. Yeah, I was on a mission to ruin everything in life. But now I'm so damn ready. Just take my hand and steady, and we will make it through the
This is in 2020. Just the opioid epidemic killed more people last year than the entire war in Vietnam. It just goes to show you, big pharma and big security defense companies, right, seem to be the beautiful players of death in the United States. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. song. Beautiful song. Love that.
Maybe it's time.
Yeah, that's unfortunately what happens when capitalism goes on steroids. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with capitalism, but there needs to be checks and balances, and there needs to be stringent fucking laws on corruption in the free open market system. It's a good system, but when you allow it to be corrupted, it's a fucking terrible fucking system, right? Because that's what it creates. The opioid epidemic, the obesity epidemic that not many people speak about. Right, where it was all like, oh, fats and trans fats and this fat and that fat and all these different fucking fats and whatever else. And what they did is they took fucking fats out of food and they replaced it with sugar, and just to find out years later that sugar was the actual killers, right? And the people that were doing the studies that sugar was okay were the very people selling the fucking sugar, like Coca-Cola and all the fucking sweets companies and all those kind of things were actually lobbying government and lobbying the FDA, right? To say, no, sugars are fine, just to create a massive fucking not only obesity, but diabetes epidemic. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. That's what happens. That's what happens when fucking capitalism goes on steroids. That is what happens when we fucking turn away from corruption and we turn away from greed and we don't fucking clamp down on that. Do you know what I mean? That's what happens. I know a lot of people sit there and be like, oh no, capitalism, it's not the capitalistic system. Trust me, there will be fucking corruption in a socialistic system too. You can't just getting rid of capitalism isn't gonna solve corruption and greed. Right? You're still gonna have that. You're just gonna have a different system where it's gonna be, well, in a socialistic system, you're just gonna have all of the corrupt people, the 1%, all at the very top and everybody at the very fucking bottom. You know what I mean? But there's still gonna be corruption, there's still gonna be greed and things like that. What you need to focus on is fucking corruption and laws that root out corruption and plugging loopholes. And no one talks about that. No one ever talks about that, right? Everyone loves to just listen to the reductionist slogans of, oh, capitalism's bad, oh, this is bad, oh, this is like, no. Let's go into what is the fucking problem of this thing? What is the actual issues here that's causing all of this? Is the fact that we have loopholes that are open because we have got money in our politics and we got lobbyists in our politics that are lobbying people who are supposed to be serving you, who are supposed to be acting on your interests, but they are getting paid to act against your interests. That is the fucking problem, and that's what causes these opioid epidemics, that's what causes the obesity epidemics, that's what causes these wars. It's because no one acts in your interests. They take your money and they act in the interests of others, of the higher elites. Anyway, I love you all. Please stay safe, peace out. I'll catch you next one. Peace!